You may or may not have heard, and I want to open up the phone lines about this. You may or may not have heard that I decided to sell OutKick to Fox. So my website, which obviously has spiraled a lot into video and audio, and we have many different aspects of the OutKick business now. I've been doing this radio show with you guys for 5 years. It isn't impacted because this is owned by iHeart, and I am an iHeart employee for purposes of this show. And I've been doing television now daily for 3 years on FS1 as a part of Fox. But I've continued to own my own sports media company, and I know many of you out there have over the years read OutKick and enjoyed it. It got to the point where there was an offer that I couldn't say no to. We have been growing like gangbusters at OutKick. We had a lot of different companies trying to buy OutKick from me, a decade, by the way, nearly after I founded the company. And ultimately, I made the choice to go ahead, that it was the right time and the right fit for me and my family to sell the website, sell the company of OutKick to Fox. Now, for people out there listening, nothing is changing in terms of my day-to-day. It's a radio show, still going on. Alarm still went off this morning at 4:30. I mean, candidly, I'm really rich now. I didn't win the lottery. I mean, I worked with my business for a decade to build it up to a good spot. But I have the ability now, if I wanted to, I don't really have to work anymore. Now, I'm signed on for years, and I love work. But in 5 years, if I decided, for instance, I didn't want to work anymore, I wouldn't have to do it. I do what I do because I love what I do. And I don't think the dollars that I make or don't make to do this is going to change the way that I behave or what I say or what I believe. And I'm in the opinion business, and I know that on any given day, no matter what opinion I'm talking about, some of you are fired up and you agree, and some of you are fired up and you disagree. But I try to be as honest as I possibly can every single day, and I think that's why this brand, this OutKick brand, but our radio show, TV shows, our videos that we do, our written content, I think that's why it's expanded and grown so rapidly. I think the partnership with Fox is just going to put all that into, I'll pour jet fuel on it. And that we are going to explode into an even larger context than we are now. I understand that some people, anytime there's a move like this, that it makes some people nervous, and I take it as a positive because so many people feel a deep connection to both me and to OutKick. But I would just say this: if you believe that I'm willing to say that a lot of things that other people are not willing to say, everybody else is terrified of cancel culture. They're worried that somebody's going to come and take them away if they say the wrong thing on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, or you say the wrong thing in a viral video, and the next thing you know, you lose your job and your family's under siege. I mean, I think there's a deep-seated fear of that across the country. And I represent, and I think OutKick does, the cancellation of cancel culture. If you thought I spoke the truth before, imagine what I'm going to say now with legitimate FU money. I can say and do and think whatever I want now with no economic consequences of any kind of severe nature. I'm going to be saying the same stuff now that I said before, but now I don't have that fear out there that I could be canceled or that my family could suffer consequences, because we're in an era of what I would call, frankly, illiberalism, where comedians have to worry about jokes that they make on the stage, where your kids have to worry about whatever Snapchat video they might be sending or whatever TikTok video they might be making, and whether or not suddenly it's going to go viral for the wrong reasons, and you don't even know what happened. And the next thing you know, your 15-year-old is in the middle of a viral nightmare, and a mob is after them. I think there's a deep-seated fear out there in the world of sports for this. I think in the world of popular culture. I think in the world of regular people like you and me who have kids in public school and every single morning get up and you don't know exactly what's going to be next to be on the chopping block. And so I think we represent and have represented for a long time the vast majority of reasonable people in this country. And I think that's why this show has expanded in the way that it has. But I'm excited for the next chapter. I think it's going to be the best and biggest chapter that we've ever had. As a part of the deal with Fox, we are going to have the ability to go out and hire a lot more people and create a lot more and better content surrounding everything that we do at OutKick. So all of this, I think, is going to be a massive positive for people if you already like what we're doing at OutKick. And many of you, frankly, are not going to notice any change because I'm going to keep doing the exact same things that I was doing before we announced the sale on Wednesday's show. Now, I'm going to open up phone lines. I understand some of you have a deep connection to OutKick. You may have questions about this decision, about the purchase of OutKick by Fox. You can give us a call, 877-996-6369, and weigh in with any questions you've got. I try to be as honest and transparent as anybody that I know in media, so I will answer your questions to the best of my ability and as honestly as I possibly can, as I've been doing basically ever since I started writing online for the first time back in 2004 with an audience of 0. I would say I'm a big believer in capitalism, as all of you out there know. I believe in the meritocracy also. I believe in competition, and I believe in the best man or woman winning. And OutKick won a lot of battles in order to get to the point where we are right now. And it's a pretty gratifying experience. I don't spend a lot of time looking back because I'm so focused on the future. But in 2004, I was a practicing attorney in the United States Virgin Islands. I just graduated from law school. And at 25 years old, I started writing daily online with an audience of 0. No reason why many other people couldn't have done what I did. I'm not unique in my talents necessarily. There are a lot of people out there who I really do believe could have done what I did. What I am is dogged and fearless, and also willing to deal with a lot of failure and not quit. And that to me is the essence of competition. I've told these stories before, but just as a little anecdote, when I wrote my first book, I remember in Dixieland Delight that came out in 2007. I had a book signing in the Birmingham, Alabama area. It was just outside on the north side of Birmingham. I drove down to Birmingham, a couple of hours and a half, go into the Books A Million there, sat at a table that they had set up for me for 2 hours to do a book signing in 2007. Not one person came to get my book. If you have ever found yourself in a situation where you are at work, and I know there's a lot of comedians out there who have had this experience. I know there's a lot of musicians, anybody who's in an entertainment industry. When you sit at a fold-out table for 2 hours in a bookstore and people walk past your signing for 2 hours and not one person buys your book, you definitely have a lot of time to reflect on how you ended up in that position where you're sitting at a table by yourself. And by the way, one thing that I do and have done ever since then is I buy a book if I see an author and nobody is buying his book or her book in a public situation, because I know what that feels like. Even if I have no interest in reading the book, it's worth $20 to me to show some compassion to an author who poured his or her heart and soul into the book, and then you're sitting there awkwardly sort of begging for somebody to come buy your book, maybe just talk to you, maybe just recognize you. I think a lot of people quit in situations like those. I think the pressure, I think the challenge, I think the fear of failure is so overwhelming for most people. And look, I've failed a lot in my career. I have done a lot of ridiculous things that didn't work. I tried to sell pants, for God's sakes, in the color of big major college football programs. I lost $50,000 in pants. I've been at book signings for hours where nobody showed up back in the day. I've been obviously dragged across the internet by so many different people, the blue checkmark brigade that decides that they don't like my opinion and I don't have the right to have that opinion. I've trended regularly for having, quote, unpopular opinions. But every time somebody tries to knock me down, if I take a punch, I get back up off the canvas. And I think that's the story of America. I really do. America is not about winning every time. This is why sports is so important in our country. You have to learn how to lose, how to put everything you have into something and still get back up off the canvas when you get knocked down. That to me is the essence of a capitalistic democracy, is every single day, whether you win or lose, getting back up and going right back at it the next day. And not being afraid of failing. I fail all the time. And it's the reason why I am now, frankly, filthy rich. Because if you win all the time, it means that you aren't actually challenging yourself and trying to expand the boundaries of what you can accomplish. Every single day, you should push yourself. And if you aren't doing that, you're unlikely to be advancing as a person no matter what you do for a living. And athletics is a perfect metaphor for that. You know, and we can see it, over time, the guys and girls who work the hardest at their craft triumph. Now, we're not all equal in terms of our talent. I could have worked as hard as I possibly can at being a pro athlete, and I could have never been a pro athlete. I don't have the athleticism to be able to be a pro athlete, like the vast majority of you who are listening to me. It wasn't that I didn't work hard enough. It was that I didn't have that athleticism, that ability, that talent. But all of us have a talent in something. And what you can learn from athletics is how to lose and still come back and continue to get better. And that's why my kids play athletics now. It's not because I think that they're going to be all-stars in high school or college, or certainly not in the pros. The odds are against any of that ever occurring. It's because athletics teaches you how to compete in a world that is filled with competition. And we're all running our own race in some way. And so, to me, nothing really changes because I still wake up with that same drive every single day. And I know that this next 5 years and 10 years and 15 years and 20 years is going to be filled with an incredible amount of wins and losses in both directions, because I'm going to continue to push myself. And sometimes I'm going to win and sometimes I'm going to lose. But my goal is to keep getting better in the years ahead. And to the extent that people reach for brass rings, I suppose getting filthy rich is a brass ring, but it's not the end goal. The money is, to me, a testament of the fact that I've got a concrete chin, that I'm going to keep getting up and I'm not going to let you knock me out or knock me down. And I think that's an important lesson for everybody out there going forward. Opening up the phone lines, 877-996-6369. I'll ask answer any question that any of you guys have. We'll have an open forum here in OutKick. Loaded show coming for you.
This is OutKick the Coverage with Clay Travis.
What was the best thing before sliced bread? Why does quicksand work so slowly? Is it possible to plan a surprise party for a psychic? Question everything. Hyundai did. It's how they came up with the new idea and thinking needed to create the all-new, totally reimagined Tucson, their best Tucson ever. Questions like just how big you can make an infotainment screen. In the Tucson, the answer turned out to be a huge 10.25 inches wide. Or can your phone be a spare key? Utilizing the Tucson's digital key technology, the answer is a resounding yes. Better yet, you can share it with up to 3 people. And how do you make peace of mind come standard in an SUV? Hyundai's reply is complimentary maintenance for 3 years or 36,000 miles. It's your journey. Discover all that's new along the way by test driving the totally reimagined 2022 Tucson at your nearest Hyundai dealer, or learn more at HyundaiUSA.com. Call 562-314-4603 for complete details. It's truly amazing what they expect us to share online. Like, why do you need my location, birth date, and mother's maiden name? What are you going to do with it? Who else is going to see it? The truth is, no one tries to be unsafe online. But as we all know, every time we give up info and privacy, we may be giving up a little safety too. That's why everyone needs Norton 360 with LifeLock to help keep their digital life safer. It's got device security, a VPN to keep your Wi-Fi activity private, and identity theft protection all in one. No one can prevent all cybercrime or identity theft, but thanks to Norton 360 with LifeLock, everyone can opt in to cyber safety. Sign up now to save 25% or more off your first year. Head on over to norton.com/clay. That's norton.com/clay to save 25% or more off your first year of Norton 360 with LifeLock. That is norton.com/clay, CLAY, to save 25% or more in the first year. Loaded lines, we're going to get to those here momentarily. By the way, Dub is out. I think he's got another wedding. The guy travels more. I mean, he's been in the 99.9th percentile for travel during COVID. Yep. Like, I don't think Dub ever stopped getting on airplanes. He's been on an airplane 50 straight weeks. So he's out. Also want to thank all the crew on the radio show. I put them on the website as well as offering thanks. And by the way, Don Martin, Scott Shapiro, Julie Talbot, best people that I have ever worked for. That is, those are all my bosses at Fox Sports Radio and Premiere. So they are just absolutely fantastic to work with.